Hey guys, Alex here with Serious Goose Games. Welcome back to our Unity Tactics RPG tutorial. In the last video, we took a break from programming and made a little map so we can better see the battlefield. Today we're going to make it so turns automatically end when units are out of actions they can perform. We're going to start out in our unit script, and we're going to start out by adding a bool called isUnitExpended to the script. So public bool isUnitExpended. Inside here, we're going to check to see if movement left is less than or equal to 0, and attacks left is less than or equal to 0, then we're going to return true. Otherwise, or else, we're going to return false. Next, we're going to hop over to our player AI script, and we want to make our active unit and our target unit public. So now what we want to do is change check unit. So I'm going to highlight it, and then we're going to rename. We're going to say end active unit turn. And we're going to basically replace all of this with something that's going to do a little bit less. So if our active unit is not equal to null, then we're going to do units.remove active unit. Then we want to check to see if units.count is still greater than 0. Then active unit is going to equal units at the index of 0. Otherwise, if they're all out of units, if there's no other units for us to deal with, it's going to be player.readyToEndTurn equals true. So that check unit function that we just had, now that we've replaced it, we still need some parts of that. So we're going to go to our player script, and underneath reset units, we're going to put it back. So it's going to be a private void called check units. We're going to do for each unit in player units. We want to check if the unit is not expended. So not unit dot is unit expended. So if the unit is still active, then we're going to bounce back, because this means that the player is not ready to end their turn because they still have units that can move. Otherwise, if we go through that whole loop and we don't bounce out, that means that we are ready to end our turn. So ready to end turn equals true. Now we're going to bring back the update method, and we might change this just because it's probably not super efficient to call this every frame. But for now, it'll work. So private void update, and we want if is player turn, check units. So we're checking units every frame, and like I said, we probably don't need to do that. We could probably call that after each action we take instead to be more efficient, but that's something we can tackle later. Now let's hop back to our unit script, and we want to look at our attack function, because right now we're not actually decrementing our attacks left. So we want to insert that here. Attacks left minus minus. Because I've attacked, we subtract 1. Now, because we're putting it here, we can take it out of our player AI script, because that's where we originally had it, right here. So we can remove that decrement from here, because it makes more sense for the unit to be managing its own resources, not for the player to be. Then down at the bottom, we're going to put an if statement. So if active unit dot is unit expended, then we're going to call end active unit turn. So after we perform an action with our unit every time, this is the AI. So anytime the AI performs an action with the unit, it's going to check to see if that unit's expended. If it is, then we're going to end that active unit turn. The last thing we want to do is make sure that our AI player still has an active unit. So in the turn manager, we're going to make sure we give it one at the beginning of each turn. So in end turn, we are checking if current player.getComponent player AI, then we assign the AI player, then we clear its units, and then we add its units back. But we don't actually set its active unit, which we need to do. So we're going to do AI.activeUnit equals AI.units index of 0. So now we can save everything and head back to Unity. Once we're back into Unity, go ahead and save your project. We don't need to change anything in the inspector, and we can hit play. Now, if we play a little bit and I move my units, if I can't use all of my movement and my attacks, we have a slight problem where I still have to manually end my turn. But the enemy units will move and their turn will automatically end, so I can select my guys. So if my turn isn't automatically ending, that means they still either have an attack left or they have movement left, but the movement cost is too high for them to actually move. My guess is this guy right here has 1 move left, but these are 2, and the only way he could move would be onto my little road here, but that's currently blocked. So we can see that the enemy takes their turn, and then their turn automatically ends, and it bounces back to us. And there we go, automatically ended turns. So there's a few small tweaks we can make to this to improve it. I feel like I keep saying that, and I swear we will go through and polish things. But I should probably start keeping track of everything that we have to go back and touch up. So that'll be something we'll do. In the next video, though, we're going to start adding our RPG elements. Right now, we have stats, but no way to improve them. So we're going to implement leveling and experience next time. That's all for today, though. So if you found this video helpful, hit like and subscribe to help other devs find the series. Let me know in the comments, would you guys prefer to go back and fully polish systems before adding more? I'm kind of taking a rapid prototyping approach to this project, get things working on a base level and improve, expand, and polish as we approach the finish line. I kind of prefer that method because I don't want to pour hours of work into a system that might need to be overhauled later. And while I script and record these videos in advance, I'm not working from a complete project, and that means we might have to make significant changes to certain things if they don't line up with the rest of the project. So let me know what your preference is in the comments. I will take that into consideration as we move forward. As always, thanks for watching. I'm Alex with Serious Goose Games, and I'll see you in the next one.